but Gilman's still looking keen to attack. They've had some opportunities, a couple corner kicks for both teams. And right now the ball is just being scrambled around through the midfield for both teams. Both teams just looking for another opportunity to get the ball on net. Jake, quick summary, what do you think Cabral has done right and wrong so far?
Well, so far we got to limit the defensive mistakes that lead to Gilman's opportunities so far. And the midfield's been hanging in, not much going on there. And of course Bender's goal with about 20 minutes into the game, that gives them the lead 1-0.
Yeah, to give a quick recap of the goal, it's a little hard without the visual. As Gilman right here looking for a chance, Cameron fighting him off. Shot from number 13, Jack Stuzen is fended off. But like I was saying, it's a little bit hard to summarize the goal, but he had, I'd say, about 20 yards out on his left foot from the middle of the goal. Shot it, took a slight deflection off a defender's leg and found the left corner bottom. But it was a great goal, and the team was very happy because before the goal, Cabral was looking a bit shaky, and it was a little bit worrying. Both teams were kind of just in a limbo. But Cabral now to a lead, which is good because we're approaching halftime now with just 10 minutes left. Here's Stuzen with the ball. He's double teamed by Ben Bender and Riley Organt.
That save by Spencer Nens a couple seconds ago was amazing.
Yeah, tough angle for Stuzen, but Spencer Nattens, it was basically a point-blank shot, and Spencer had to react quickly, just kind of stick out an arm and hope it hits his arm, and it did. So he'll take the goal kick here. Boots a long one, about 60 yards. Ben Bender with the head. Now Riley Organt doesn't find the feet of Shane Allen, but now it's Steve Welsh, who plays on the Bender. He has his left foot.
That's a great run right there. Andy on the ball in the corner.
They're going to call it offsides maybe? No? All right.
That one's deflected to James Garfin. Defense resets, gets up a little higher, and it's back to Clay McCombs. Another defensive error right there, just another slip. Deflections. That's going to be a call on Andy Christ right outside the box. Little tangled up with the right winger. Seems to be around 25 out.
So now all of a sudden with Cabral looking to gain some momentum off of Ben Bender's goal, quickly Gilman gets the ball back, and now the ref is going to have a talk to Coach Zincan.
Yeah, it's been happening all game. But here's another set piece. Calvert lost to defense, struggling on him all year. Nothing direct yet, but
I don't know if it was Gilman last year, but Coach Rich did have a little bit of trouble with a chair in one of the games.
He also got thrown out in that one.
Yep. What numbers? Gilman to take. Off the head of Jack Stuzen and in. Nope. Waved off by the ref. They would call it obstruction or some kind of interference.
Maybe offside, I'm not sure, but almost another devastating set piece for the Calvert Hall defense.
To remind our viewers, Calvert Hall suffered a gut-wrenching defeat against Gilman last week at Gilman School. It went into overtime, tied 1-1, and with just a couple minutes left in the game, there was a penalty called. Clay McComas was unlucky, got his feet tangled, and the ref deemed it enough to be a penalty, especially in double overtime. And as they do most of the time, it was converted for a goal. Here's Cameron. He's going to take it quickly, whips it across to Ben Bender. Now Bender with his left foot lobs one up. Riley Organt on the end of it, but the turf was not very forgiving to that ball as it skips to the keeper's hands.
Yeah, freshman Riley Organt getting more minutes on and on as the season goes on. He scored against John Carroll yesterday, a great finish with the volley. And it looks like he's progressing in the time he's on the field.
Shot from Avery Merlot. Sails wide and high. Just kind of a, let's see what happens, attempt right there, about 35 yards out.
That's the shots they want Gilman to take from that far out. Just prevent the ones in the box. A stat from earlier this season is inside the 8 or the PK spot, approximately 12 goals have been given up in that season, or so far in this season. And that's just too many from that point blank of range.
Yeah, there's been a lot of scrappy second attempt goals for both teams. Cabral has found success and also found some demise from that kind of goal. But Gilman does have that big physique. They have a huge team. Talking to some of the players earlier, they told me, oh yeah, they're just really big. So they can't let, as we saw with that goal that was waved off, you can't let them get in the box like that because they will win those aerial battles. And so Cabral just looking to keep them outside the box, just not letting them use their size.
Yeah, going on with that, Gilman's more of a rough and tough team in the MIAA. And they found success through that.
Yeah.
8-2-1. And when we played at Gilman, Cabral did, we kind of fell into the strategy of the kicking and the physicality. And on this turf field, Cabral is looking to keep the ball on the ground and outplay him with the technical skill that Cabral has.
Yeah, Gilman never really had the success as a big powerhouse, or never had the reputation of a big powerhouse team for soccer in the MIAA. But this year they've been sort of a surprise team. Coming into a game last week, the idea was that Gilman wasn't that great, but then they came out and won and then beat McDonough. So Gilman just looking, they're very hot right now. So Cabral, this is going to be a scrappy one for sure. But as there's been a plethora of substitutions here, 4 new Cabral players coming in. But Cabral, this would be a huge win, a lot of weight to it, because they could possibly jump over McDonough and even get closer to that second seed of Gilman, which a couple weeks ago the second seed seemed unreachable for Cabral, with Loyola and McDonough seeming to fly away with the league. So this will be big for Cabral if they get a win against Gilman, because now, as they weren't before, but Gilman is one of the top teams in the MIAA. Ken Owen does well to win an aerial battle there, and Dom Kerna boots it out. And Gilman heads it back in.
Yeah, it seems to be a big competition for that 2 and 3 spot this year in the MIAA. Loyola seems to be running away with the #1, undefeated still. But a lot of teams within a couple points. I believe there's 4 to 5 teams within 5 points with a couple games left. So a lot of changes can be made in the ranks so far. Looks like Luke dropped back into the midfield after starting at striker. He's done that position pretty much the whole first half of the season. And then with injuries, he moved up to striker.
Dylan burst with the opportunity there. Grant Farley just struggling around to get a hold of that ball. He does. And now he takes the ball up a little bit himself. Boots it up. Here's Johnny Melicon. Now the ball with Tyler Martinez. Guidi and Andy Christ both trying to pry the ball from him. Now it's just booted up in the air. And Dom Kerner does well to get his head on it.
Good play by Cam to clean that one up. It's been a little slow on that side of the back line, but so far clean sheet. And I believe only 1 shot on goal.
Yeah, just under 6 minutes now. Cabral in a state of, I guess, okayness. They have the goal, they have a lead, but Gilman's still knocking on the door, showing that they are a threat.
A big concept or key to the game for Coach was the throw-ins. They scored on the throw-in in the first game we met, and they just had one there. Good
deflection off of Logan Paff there, and luckily didn't find the foot of another Gilman player. They were ready to pounce on it, but Spencer Nattens was the first to it. And now Cabral just looking to get something going, but Johnny Melicon gets a hold of the ball, and Cameron just has to boot it into LaSalle or Goucher Boulevard, and hopefully that didn't hit any cars.
Another throw-in. They got a lot of size in the box. You got a front man, their target man's got to be guarded both behind and in front, and he wins that one over the goal for a goal kick.
Logan Paff with the header, but it just lobbed over the goal. Could have been something though, and I think Catterall was pretty lucky because they had 3 guys on him, and he was still able to get up in the air. And that just shows the size. Like right now, Cam and Clay, there's some pretty big dudes, but Logan Paff, he makes them look pretty small out there. So Gilman does have the size for sure, and I think Catterall just needs to beat him with pace today.
I just love Clay in the air.
He's very fearless in the air, definitely.
Rarely does he miss a header that's crucial for the team.
Oh, ref gonna make a booking here maybe? Was it that was on? Oh. The Gilman parents not happy with that one, but I think they would love to be reminded that they won the game off a penalty. So the play resumes, and now here's Grant Farley with the ball, looking to punt it up.
Let's see if James Garfman can win this one. Doesn't, and Gilman gets a second ball too. Well done by Andy Christ. He's been playing great lately. And a great play by Dylan Burris to win possession. He's one of the most physical players Calvert has, and he used it there. Good look by Ben to find Link, but Link can't convert on the final ball.
Here's Bender again with the ball. Through the legs of Michael Brittingham, but Gilman does get it cleared. Now Cameron to Link.
Well done by Link.
Link to Bender, but it is cleared out by number 4, Greg Diet.
Calling a deflection. Gilman again not happy with the call. Dom Corona on the throw-in. See if we can get a flick into the box. Try to defeat the size of Gilman, especially in the 6.
Dom does have a good arm with the long throw. Finds the heel of Ben Bender.
Opportunity for Andy Christ. Good shot on goal. Scored against John Carroll. A great touch and finish. The 7-0 result.
Yeah, I think we had 7 different goal scorers that day. It was good to see a bunch of people get on the score sheet.
No call there. Cleared up by Cam. Ball bounces around. Of course, Clay gets his head on it. But it's back to Spencer.
Spencer Nance with the long punt, spiraling towards the sideline. But it does find the field and goes out of bounds.
He doesn't often punt it. Beginning of the year, he likes to put it to the foot and play it either long or find a center back or marking back on the wings. But seems to be switching to the punting tactic in the last couple of games.
Here's Guidi now. Guidi plays it back to Bender. Bender looking for a chip. It goes towards Andy Christ, but does not find his feet.
Yeah, Andy really does like getting up that line. Get in there, Jimmy! It really gives us an extra width, an extra man on offense.
Yeah, we do.
A lot of goals.
We do see him, Dom Corona, and even Cam Elrin, who spent a couple years playing as an midfielder for Calvert Hall. But we do see a lot. Those 3 get up the field often.
Great fight. Another great play by Luke Ferries to keep the ball. He loves playing that holding spot in the midfield. I'm sure he's excited to be back in that role today. tackle by Andy. Not sure they're calling it on.
They gave the advantage to Calvert Hall at first, or no, they're gonna call a foul.
Strange call here. They're gonna call it on Andy Christ. Correction, it's not coming out. And that's gonna be your first half.
Well, slightly encouraging start for Calvert Hall. Scored a goal 20 minutes in. Ben Bender. I think it's fair to say that Calvert Hall should be very happy with the way not the way they've played, but with the score based off the way they've played. I think that Calvert Hall definitely has a lot of room to improve. They're just lacking a little bit of creativity right now up front. I think the back line needs to strengthen up. They need to be more definitive with their tackles. What about you? What did you see from this first half?
Overall, it was fairly sloppy from the expectations of this team. But 1-0 against the 2 seed of the MIAA, you can't really complain with that.
Yes, definitely a positive start for Calvert Hall. Room to improve. Calvert Hall leads 1-0 off that goal of Ben Bender. We'll be back in about 9 minutes. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching. We are sorry about the delay, but we will be here for the full second half. Thank you. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Second half underway now. I'm Brady Organt.
I'm Jake Bleacher.
Spencer Nance with the ball, just looking to distribute.
Pretty much the same starting lineup for the Cardinals. One adjustment, Steve Welsh checks in at left wing.
Alongside Steve, we have Luke Faris, Dylan Burris, Ben Bender, Andrew Guidi. They cap off the attacking portion of Calvert Hall for the second half. Also, Dom Corona, James Garfink, Andy Christ, Clay McComas, and Cameron Owen with the holding midfield and defensive line. And, of course, Spencer Nance in goal. As Steve Welsh plays it along into the corner for Dylan Burris. Dylan with a low cross almost finds Luke. Steve Welsh gets the ball out of the air, plays it back to Christ.
That's really good stuff by Dylan Burris off that one-time cross. Almost a chance no more than a minute into the half.
Yes, what seemed like a little bit of a stagnant first half quickly changes pace in the second half. Just a minute in, and Calvert Hall already with a quick chance.
Same back line. They haven't been subbed out since a while. All are expected to play the entire game.
They do have Michael Gizriel and Bobby Wells as options on the bench, but they are still coming back into full form from their injuries. This Calvert Hall back line had to play the entirety of the Gilman game, all of them in the game for the whole time with no substitutes. So I'm sure they would love to get a comfortable lead so that they can get some rest.
But I do not expect that to happen. It would be great to have Bobby Wells and Michael Gizriel back as they're getting back in form from a sprained MCL for Michael Gizriel and a broken ankle for Bobby Wells. And both of them are cleared, but it's been a while since they've played and practiced. So once they get back on the practice field for a while, we expect them to get back on the field.
Yeah, and the injuries of the defense have been a big storyline this year, especially on the live stream. We've covered all the guys who have gone down, especially with you, Jake, with that torn ACL. But I think that we
That's great stuff. Oh, Luke, excellent cross the box again.
I think that we left out a mention of the senior Bryce Bailey, who featured for the team last year as number 27,
wow.
Logan Paff with a chance there as the ball just bounced around. I think we haven't talked enough about Bryce Bailey, who was on the team last year, could not play this year as he tore his rotator cuff, or no, I think it was his meniscus or something in his hip. But Bryce has been out since January. He just had surgery, so we wish him a speedy recovery. But his absence is definitely felt with this back line. So he got some time last year, and he is a big presence. But
what a tackle by Cam Oren right there to save another goal. He really loved going to ground in those situations, and he did it again.
Yeah, it was a very gutsy move there with Logan Paff right on the doorstep of Spencer Natton's goal. If he missed, it could have been detrimental, but Cam with a great tackle, and that is what he is at center back for. He was called upon earlier in the season when Bobby Wells was out, and he has really stepped into that role and really solidified himself as a leader of this team.
It's always bold to go to ground in the box, risking a penalty kick just like we had against Gilman last time in that overtime. But here's Dylan Burris to take a free kick, hopefully having a lefty hook on it.
It looks like
5 numbers on the back post.
Dylan lining up on that track, not much room of turf there, but he will cross this one in. Hits the head of a Gilman defender. And the ball is lucky not to hit a cross-country runner, but Calvert Hall will have a throw in Andy Chris to take.
Gotta watch out for those cross-country runners.
Luke tries to tap it in more, but is cleared out to James Garfink. Garfink with a lob, but Avery Meyer uses his head to clear it out again.
I'd love to see Calvert Hall start to keep the ball this half. We've gotten good offense, but possession seems to be fairly equal as of now, at least for this half.
Greg Diet to take the throw. Looking to get the ball up into their attacking half. Martinez attempts, but Andy Chris does good to get the ball off of him.
A lot of Calvert Hall's goal for the game was to attack the flanks, as Gilman's got great size in the middle of the park, but technical skill from Calvert Hall can give them the chance to penetrate the flanks and get some crosses in. We've already done that a couple times this half, putting low ones on the ground around to the penalty area.
Yeah, especially that one with Dylan Burris.
We haven't converted yet.
Gonna stop the play. It looks like a head injury for number 8, Ryan Martinez.
And then Mr. Zinn coming onto the field. Clearly the best trainer in the MIAA.
Highly touted trainer. Calvert Hall very lucky to have him on staff. Does a very good job of taking care of his players, making sure they don't go in too early. He makes sure if you got a concussion, you sit out for a while and make sure that it's fully healthy before you get back in. But he'll go out there and check out Ryan Martinez, make sure that he's all right.
Yeah, the sophomore with a head injury. Doubtful will come back in this one with the concussion protocol. But only time will tell. But that leaves another throw in for Gilman. Just like the threats from earlier this game.
Greg Diet has already shown his long arm on that last throw in, and he will take again with Gilman's entire attacking line lined up in the box or near the box.
James Garfink and Clay McComas on the point man. And not sure who won that. It seems to be Clay for a corner. It's a corner kick for Gilman. Their second of the game. Calvert Hall has everyone in their own box. Cannot give up another set piece.
Set piece is a huge theme for Calvert Hall. Of course, avoiding set piece goals for the last couple games, but they're definitely not going to want to give one up here, as they gave one up earlier in the game, but it was waved off by the ref, and now the ball just cleared up and lobbed back in by Gilman.
That's great stuff from Spencer Nattens. Takes the guts to do that. Take the hit, get the ball in the foul.
Yeah.
He's been doing that all year for us.
I'm sure Coach Davis will check this out if he needs any more wide receivers. That was a good play from Spencer Nattens.
Good flip by Andy.
Now here's Clay McComas. Uses the side of his head. Now Andy flicks it on to Steve Welsh. Welsh over his head finds Dylan Burris.
Dylan Burris. Clay, Andy, and Dylan Burris, 3 of the most physical players on our team. All winning head balls in that sequence.
Yeah, Andy doesn't really seem like he's the physical type. He's a very calm demeanor kind of guy. But when someone has the ball going down his flank, he makes sure to get in front of him and doesn't let him through. And he will take this throw in for Calvert Hall now.
Not sure where Luke's playing right now, but I'd love to see him get on the ball more, as he's quite an impactful player for our team.
Luke has floated around the entire field for Calvert Hall this season. He started off as a holding midfielder, floated into the back line against Loyola after a couple of injuries, and now you find him more of an attacking role. So he's definitely done the tour. Maybe he'll play goalie if we're up by a lot.
Yeah, our game against Loyola, the overtime loss at the Don Stadium, Luke Ferries played 5 different positions, and he was impactful in all of them, as injuries, multiple injuries that game, led to a little scramble, but Luke did well to keep the team organized, but an unfortunate loss.
Here's James Garfink. He has Andy wide, looks to play him off the left foot. Avery Meyer gets in the way though.
Seems like Calvert Hall has struggled on those pass out to the flanks this season when there's not a lot of options.
Andy Weinstein unable to keep it in for Gilman. And now Andy Christ to take the throw.
Another key topic for Coach Rich was throw-ins and how we can keep them. Unfortunately, we don't keep that one there.
Here's Cam Owen.
Finds Guidi on the flank. He's got space and time. And there's Luke, all over the place today.
Luke does well to keep it in.
Right flank. And he draws a corner. Excellent stuff by Luke Ferries.
Ben Bender looking to take the corner with that left foot of his.
Andy Chris going in.
As Calvert Hall did a little bit earlier, Gilman has all of their players in the box. They're really packing that 6-yard line right now.
It seems Calvert Hall is more organized with their attack on this set piece. Plays it short, gets the flick on. That's over the goal for a goal kick.
I thought that hit the back of a Gilman defender, but the linesman does not agree with my opinion, so he will call that a goal kick. Now Grant Farley to take with his left foot. He boots it up about 50 yards. Steve Welch is the first one to find it, but the referee didn't see that as a clean play. Said he had his hand on the Gilman defender's back. So Gilman will have a free kick around midfield now. Spencer Nans with a great save there.
Almost another set piece to capitalize against Calvert Hall.
Spencer, a last reach kind of save right there. Does well to keep it out.
Questionable call by the ref as Luke makes a great play to keep that one in bounds and almost start a counterattack. But here comes another set piece. That's the second one already that Gilman's been very close to scoring on. This one's from closer, and they have 6 people in the box to finish it away.
Eli Webb whips it in with his right foot, but Ben Bender does well to get the ball out. Now here's Luke Furries. Settles with his chest, plays it over Avery Mile, Cameron, first one to it. No foul. Ref's gonna call it incidental contact, and it's cleared out by Gilman and will be a throw-in for Calvert Hall. But very promising stuff there. Andy Chris now throws it to Bender. Bender plays it short back to Andy. Andy back to Bender.
Seems like Andy Chris is getting into a rhythm in the second half.
Andy Weinstein does well to get the ball out, but Chris will take the throw. Ref says no, get back 4 yards, and he'll take it again.
Yeah, and back to those set pieces. It seems like we have lost a lot of size in people winning in the air, bad call there. And Luke's putting a major impact in this game. But the set pieces, we lost center back Nick Long early in the season, who's been great in the air, and hopefully return senior year for our championship run then.
Now Luke Furries to take this, an in-swinger with his right foot from nearly the corner.
It's hard to hit it off that track. Guidi on the goalie. A lot of people on that back post. That's won by the first defender. Second ball still in. Good win by Andy Chris. And that's a clearance for Gilman. Let's see if James Garfin can stop the counter.
Here's Avery Merlot. He has options. Number 13 surely had to be offsides. No call though, but Spencer Nans is there to intercept the ball.
That was an excellently ran counterattack by Gilman, but Spencer does his job to keep it away.
Spencer with a high, long punt. Finds Guidi. Off the head of Guidi, but bounces right by Dylan Burris. Now here's Andy Christ.
Guidi doesn't have the size in the air, but he short fights for it. He wins a lot of balls like that. I recall one against McDonough early in the season on a Friday night. Guidi laid into someone early and set the tempo for the game.
Number 13, Jack Stuzen, the almost goal scorer for Gilman earlier in the game. Puts a little pressure on Spencer Nattens there, but Spencer, calm and collected, will boot it out again. Once again, almost finding Guidi. And then Gilman again on the counterattack. Now Stuzen. The ball just kind of bounced around. Stuzen still.
Oh my.
He did well to find the ball. After a little bit of a physical counteraction between the Calvert Hall defense and Jack Stuzen.
You can literally not ask for a better opportunity than that. 2 yards out, ball on his right. Fortunate for Calvert Hall.
Spencer Nance to take the goal kick. It's got some backspin to it. Now here's Andy Christ. The ball has bounced off his head an awful lot today. He's done well getting the ball out of the air.
Chris Link enters the game. He replaces Stephen Welsh. Link had an excellent goal against Gilman the first time play played, off an assist of Ben Bender. Never seen a better placed header.
I think both teams were sure of a foul there from Luke Unger, number 21, the senior for Gilman, on Andy Christ. No call, though, and it will be a Gilman throw-in. So I'm sure no complaints from the Gilman Greyhound side, but Calvert a little bit baffled by that call. So another long throw coming from Diet. Spiraling. Almost finds Joey Melancon.
Well done by Chris Link to change possession there.
Chris seemed to be cornered there by number 4, Greg Diet, but he booted it off of Greg's foot. It goes out for a throw-in for Calvert Hall. And he plays it short to Clay McComas, and McComas has time.
Chris Link has done an excellent job fighting for minutes on this team, winning a starting spot, and is really making an impact this season, especially later on.
The Gilman pass is misplayed. Guidi with the ball. Puts it up. Oh my gosh.
Fortunate for Gilman. Calvert Hall hasn't had one of those goals in their favor.
Although the goal that Gilman scored in regulation back in the reverse fixture was an own goal.
Yeah, it seems like...
Oh, ew!
And a ball into Goucher Boulevard.
Clay hit 2 cars.
He's got a can.
That one did go swearing.
That one we threw up while sitting in traffic.
Another throw-in. This is how Gilman capitalizes.
Oh, that was nice.
Bouncing the box. Great clearance by Chris Link. See if Dylan Burris can save it.
Oh, he threw it into the field.
And he does so.
He threw it into the field.
Ball on the field. Doesn't seem anyone cares right now. And Spencer claims it. Excellent stuff by Dom Corona to put one ball on the field.
We'd like to take some time to thank the citizen who stepped out of his car to throw the ball back onto the field. But his hazard flashers are still on as he's driving away. Please turn your hazard flashers off.
Another ball almost shot into the street. A substitution made.
Hayden Lynn
coming off.
Hayden Lynn coming on for him.
Hayden Lynn, one of the most technical kids on the team.
Here's Luke Furries. He's doubled by Gilman, but he puts it back to Dom Corona.
Does well to keep it there. Ben Bender's one touch, a little off there. Doesn't happen often. Uncontested throw in for Gilman. That's what Calvert Hall cannot have. Good stuff from James Garfink to win the second ball for possession. That's going to be played up to Spencer Nance. He's got Clay to the left. He's got around 40 yards of space. He elects not to play him.
Number 13 for Gilman, Jack Stuzen, the senior forward, or junior forward rather, has been poaching this half. Sort of sitting up front, kind of, I wouldn't say cherry picking, but putting some pressure on that back line. And he's always there for Gilman's long balls, and he's put some pressure on Spencer Nance a few times now, especially with that glaring miss earlier. But they hope to do the same thing again, targeting Jack Stuzen. Here it is. Cam does well to head it out, though. So does Garfink. And now back to Cam.
A little inaccurate with that pass. But Jimmy's been doing well in the midfield. In the air, especially.
Hayden Lim even finding himself in an aerial battle. One of the shorter guys on the team. along with Riley Organt.
Here's 2 more subs are going to come on. Next time Calvert Hall wins a throw or goal kick. And that's going to be another Gilman corner. Once again, Calvert Hall puts practically everyone in their defensive 18. It's good to see Bobby Wells warming up to get in there. His first time checking in an influential game. And he replaces
Dylan Burris.
Yes, he does look to be Dylan Burris. Not sure what position he's going to play, though.
Maybe a more defensive kind of formation now. Bobby more of a natural center back as you see him going into the box. He's got a very big physique, huge head, and he'll get that one out of the box really well for you. Tallest guy on the team, actually.
He's great in the air. Looks like they're going to put Luke Ferris back up the striker.
Add that.
Having his way with that Gilman back line so far.
Add that one to the checklist of positions Luke has played today.
And he has a chance to win on the air. He flicks it on.
Avery Merlot does well, though, to get ahead to it. But now Calvert Hall with another chance. Hayden Lim running the ball to the corner. Number 12, Aiden Booth, though, forces the ball off his foot. And it goes out for a goal kick. And another substitution for Calvert Hall. Looks like Shane Allen is coming on to replace Luke Ferris.
A lot of people haven't played that got in a couple games before. Specifically, Patrick Tejada hasn't checked in yet. Let's see if the adjustments are made.
Looks like Riley Organ is up and warming for Calvert Hall again. He looked really cold out there. I told him to bring sweatpants today. He didn't listen. That's whatever.
I would love to see the freshman Will Andrews check into this one. May not be his type of styled game, as Gilman's very physical. And Will has not developed into an upperclassman.
I think Will can rely on his speed, and he definitely has a lot of skill, a lot of creativity.
Oh, absolutely.
But against a team like this, you not very keen to see that because they just snuff it out real quick. It's more of a gritty kick and run kind of game here.
Yeah, the classic high school soccer battle. Good win by Ben Bender. Second by Link.
Now Bobby.
Third by Bobby. Eventually the run ends.
They got to get the ball down on the ground at some point. I think that's big for Calvert Hall. They've been heading the ball a little bit too much now, it seems like.
Yeah, that falls into Gilman's strengths of in the air, physicality, little bump and run, disorganized.
Shannon Allen with a foul. Just another big guy on the field. I think that Coach Zincan right now is deliberately putting on some tall dudes, with the exception of Hayden Lim, kind of counteracting to that, the big size of Gilman. Especially now we're just under 18 minutes left to go in this game. Calvert Hall starting to look to park the bus a little bit, Jose Mourinho style, and just win this one out.
Good clearance by Andy.
It's not Jose. Now Hayden Lim. He's going to play it on the ground to Shane Allen. Shane slows it a little bit.
Midfield late to get up on that counterattack, and that ends it.
Calvert Hall not much in a rush here, though. The field very spread out now. The back line sitting back.
That's great connections right there. Good ball in. It's a little far.
It's going to sail out, but it will be a throw-in for Gilman as they are pinned in to their own corner now.
Good win by Chris. Another second ball by Ben Bender. Shane throws his body into the defender. James getting stuck in. Doesn't win the tackle. A lot of the through balls Gilman's played through have been skipped a little too far with this wet turf.
Haven't really talked much about the rain today, but it is definitely coming into effect for this game. That kick and run, just the ball's skipping on, and we've seen a lot of balls overplayed sort of today, just kind of skipping out of bounds. As we saw there on the long ball, it actually found Spencer Nance before it found a Colorado defender or Gilman attacker. There's Logan Paff. Cam Irwin tested yet again. He's going to take the ball into the corner this time and try to keep it in bounds. It does stay in bounds, but Gilman just keeping the pressure on right now. It's crossed in there.
A lot of soccer left for Gilman to score.
Chris Link does well to get a foot to it on the slide there.
Chris loves that tackle in that part of the field, playing holding midfield.
There's not much more painful than sliding on wet turf, and he really laid his body out there to save that one. Now Andy Christ. He puts the ball into space for Shane Allen.
Good piece of skill by Shane. But once again, that final pass for Calvert Hall hasn't been on. It's been like that the entire season. That's another good piece of combination passing from Calvert Hall. This is the way they need to play. A little off from Ben Bender.
Bender playing lateral there, just dribbling side to side, looking for an option. He found Andy Christ, but it was just a little bit off.
The more possession Calvert Hall plays, the better it gets for them. Limits Gilman's opportunities.
Greg Diet with a long throw. Almost finds Luke Unger, but doesn't.
Bobby's still getting used to the rhythm of the game. Takes a little long on that one.
Bobby seems to be limping around a little bit.
And that's a win for Clay McComas, but it's going to be a throw-in right where Gilman wants it. Stacking a lot of people in the box with around 15 minutes left in this one. Spence has done well so far, see if he can make a play. That keeps the Calvert Hall clean sheet going. It's flicked on by a Gilman attacker, but it's cleared by Ben Bender.
Hayden Lim gets his right foot to it, clears it out, and Gilman just keeping that pressure on right now.
And another call, a set piece from...
Looks like Bobby Wells there on the foul.
Looks like they're going to hold the 18, maybe a little farther than that. Great play by Spencer Nance to keep that one.
Spencer does well to punch the ball out, but he also connects with Andy Chris's face, and Andy is down.
Andy Chris is down, and there was a little tangle in the corner of that one at the end of that play. Andy is fearless in the air, but this is a big loss for the back line if Andy cannot resume play, and it does not look like he can. Coach Zinkan debating on the next move. Not sure what's going on here. Does not seem that the ref knows what's going on, and Andy is now going to exit the game. And so is Cam with the yellow card for the skirmish that happened in the right side of the field. So that means checking in is Michael Gisriel and Luke Ferraris. I assume they're going to be both on the back line, as that's who they replace.
Time and time again, we haven't seen the MIAA refs be able to sort of de-escalate situations. And I think the yellow card there is a good move. As we saw it get a little bit chippy at the end of the John Carroll game, I think the ref is being a little more proactive here. Obviously, don't want to see Cam go out, but just to make sure that nothing else breaks out, he'll step aside and then come back in on the next dead ball.
This is a good chance for Gilman, especially with Cam out of the game, the best in the air for him. That wins them a goal kick for Calvert Hall. Cam Oren back on. Takes off Bobby Wells. It's good to see Bobby back in. Hoping to see him more and more minutes as the season goes on. A couple games left.
12 minutes left in this one. Calverall just hanging on to that 1-0 lead. Gilman keen to tie it up, force an overtime possibly, or even get another goal before the end of regulation. But Calverall 0-3 in overtime this year. Not really hoping for that. They just want to hold on to this one. Now Chris Link.
We got one earlier this season. Mount St. Joe scored the first minute of overtime. But still not a convincing record when it matters the most. It's good to see Calverall keeping it. On the ground, that's a great lead by Hayden Lim.
Here's Dom Corona.
Cam does excellent there. The technical skill from Hayden Lim coming out there to keep that one. And it looks like Luke is at left back. Another position for him today.
Michael Gisriel is on the field now for Calverall, playing more of a holding midfield role. That one is played long in an attempt to find Jack Stuzen, but it skips to Spencer Nattens.
Calverall's midfield trying to organize themselves with a couple new adjustments.
Spencer's got Luke wide on the wing. Don't think he found him though. He's just gonna play it long to Bender.
See if Luke can make a run up the left flank.
Looked like Bender was fouled there, but ref did not call it. Now the ball skipping through the back line again. Logan Paff pressuring, but he kicks it out. It's gonna be a goal kick.
More adjustments. The starters, Andrew Guidi and Dylan Burris, are coming in, replacing Hayden Lim and Shane Allen. Both Hayden and Shane put up good minutes there. But a goal here for Calverall would really stamp a victory. That would be huge for the confidence of the team, and it would be nice to get a big one against a highly ranked team in this league. Michael Gisriel's down again.
That ball hit his face.
It would be so unfortunate to see him go down with a second injury this season. Already sprained his MCL out for a while. Starting at that center back spot when that happened.
Clock.
The ref, not sure what he's doing here. Giving a demonstration, maybe.
Well, did the ref denote stop the clock?
Greedy with a header.
Jimmy's done well to keep their midfield in check. He does so again. Dylan Burris, a great ball up the line to Chris Link. Chris is isolated, and he lays it back to Luke. Luke's going to proceed forward to Benny.
Bender just gets a toe on it, pokes it, but it goes out of bounds. Goal kick for Gilman. 8 minutes, 30 seconds left. Calverall holding on. 1-0 off the goal of Ben Bender. 20 minutes into the first half.
It's good to see Andy Chris standing up on the bench. Maybe he can return back, finish this game strong.
Chris Link.
Certainly needs him.
Michael Gisriel.
A little inaccurate on that one, but he was heavily pressured.
Greedy putting some pressure on the Gilman back line here.
Good ball in.
Logan Paff. Looked like Clay McComas and Jack Stuzen bumped heads there. They shake it off. Clay McComas, candidate for sportsmanship, right there. He's a good sport. Great peer minister and always a nice guy.
Great save by Spencer Nattens.
Greg Diet with the shot there off his right foot, low, skipped with that wet turf. And Spencer Nattens does good to get low and keep that ball from getting slipping through. Don't want no Billy Buckner kind of play there.
Only 3 clean sheets for Calvert Hall this season. In order to make a championship run, you're going to have to see a lot less goals conceded. Most of them are a little weird. Some mistakes in the back. A couple own goals. But it's important to clean it up, especially in October and early November.
Dom Corona to throw.
Mike checking. He's got him short.
He looks to play long though. May pin the ball in the corner.
He's going to get another throw. No, he's not. Let's see what happens here. Clay does well. He gets a call.
Great play there from Clay McComas. It was a foot race for the ball there. He was the first one to it. Then he draws the contact, gets the foul, and now Calvert Hall is able to settle down, take their time, and take this more organized instead of being forced to kick it out of bounds or anything. Spencer Nens sure to take his time here. No rush.
Yeah, you're not going to outpace Clay, especially with his acceleration. He runs track, the mid-distance 400. He's just lightning quick.
Yeah, Clay was a born leader. As Chris Link here now with an opportunity.
That's a good move by Chris.
Puts it on his right foot.
Luke gives him an option drop. Love to see Luke get more up the field, but it's understandably, with 5 minutes left, up a goal. Play more conservative.
It's going to be a throw-in for Gilman. Like I was saying, Clay, a born leader. He was the freshman class president in 2015, 2016. He was the fresh off soccer captain, and now he's a peer leader for peer ministry. So it's good to see him find his way into the starting lineup now as he's solidified a role at center back with seemingly no replacement. With Bobby Wells still slowing his way back in, and he's been put in more as a center defensive mid role. So I think Clay has really earned his role, and he's doing really well at center back. Now Luke Faris, the current left back, to take. He's been bouncing around all game. It just goes over the head of Chris Link, and Jack Stuzen actually gets a foot on it, but it goes back to Calvert Hall. Now Andrew Guidi after the long ball from Bender.
Guidi does well to keep it there. Great ball to Dylan Burris. Good turn. Dylan's in. That's good stuff.
Good awareness there from Farley, Grant Farley, the national champion goalkeeper for Baltimore Celtic, to just get out there and get a foot on it, because that surely looked like a goal for Dylan Burris. Great turn from Dylan.
I love the way Dylan's playing right now. Hard work rate. And that's a good move by the Gilman midfielder. But it's another better win by Luke. Distributed to Chris Link. Good turn by Chris. He has space. If he can get there, and he doesn't.
It's going to be a Gilman throw, though. Greg Diet to take the reserve long throw.
Clock ticking down. Under 5 now. That's going to be another set piece from around 35 to 40 out. And he's going to have a talking to with Michael Gisriel.
Looks like Chris Link actually got it.
Chris Link, that's his second yellow in a row against Gilman for talking. And Andy. Andy Chris back in. Not sure what the back line is now. I could see Luke going into the holding midfielder spot.
Pretty sure I believe it's Cam, Clay, Luke, and Dom back there.
Yeah, but Andy just came in, so I'm not sure.
Cross from Gilman. Oh!
Another close opportunity.
Looks like Luke Unger had a foot on it. Their feet are actually stuck right now. Cameron Owen and Luke Unger had their feet stuck together. A little bit of a wardrobe malfunction there. But Luke Unger did get a foot on that cross. It was a very seemingly dangerous threat there from Gilman. And Calvert Hall just holding on. 3 minutes, 40 seconds left. And they're just fighting to keep this one out. And it's not very comfortable right now for Calvert Hall. But you make with what's due. And they're just kind of fighting for it right now.
Shane holds the ball up well. Good flick on. Andy slips again. GoFundMe page for new cleats for Andy. Maybe in the...
He has slipped an awful lot today.
That's a great flick on.
Stuzen, the ball on his left foot.
Great stuff.
Tries to play it across, but Cameron Owen calm, collected, very clutch there. Put himself in a good position right away instead of going for that ball. He figured, yeah, I'm gonna fight this guy into the corner. Student's not really good on his left foot. Cam realized that, pushed him out that way, and forced a corner.
Once again, everyone back for Calvert Hall. 3 minutes left in this one.
Martinez to take another low corner from him.
Calvert Hall needs to get out quick. Shane to Cam. That's a great ball.
Shane plays Cam Owen. They're on the break now. Some lacrosse style play here. Cam whips it in, but Gilman is forced to lob this one out, and that's going to bounce out forever. Forces the Gilman goalie to go and get it himself, trying to save some time. 2 minutes, 15 seconds left.
Couldn't get any closer to a corner kick, but it's going to be a throw.
I think Calvert should check. Make sure that ball isn't flat right now. You might want to swap it out, actually. It looked a little bit flat. But Andrew Guidi to take the throw in.
See if they can win another throw. Keep it in the corner. It's going to go to Dom Corona. Corona's played all 90 or all 80 minutes today.
Bender with a chip. Goes out of bounds, though. Be a Gilman throw as the ball goes out again. This time rolling behind the net, and Gilman forced to run again. Minute 40 seconds left. Gilman finally gets a different ball.
A goal here would be devastating for Calvert Hall.
I think it would, yeah.
Calvert Hall's had a lot of tough breaks this season. It would be nice to get one for their own. Another good flick on by Luke. And he's into space. If Shane can play him back. Bender plays Guidi. Great touch by Guidi. Shane's in.
He's offsides.
Apparently some fans are unaware of that. But the refs are calling this one back. That's a second overturned goal this game.
I think it was pretty clear it was offsides there. But it's the effort that counts. In our book, he scored.
James Garfin hits the ground, 48 seconds left. Shane clears it up again. Desperation for Gilman.
Ball is bouncing around. Long ball from Greg Diet. 2 Gilman strikers up. Here's Logan Paff. Goes out of bounds.
Yeah, that's going to be a goal kick. Unless something crazy happens, it should end with a 1-0 result. As Spencer Nance takes his time for this goal kick.
15 seconds left. This one is surely but over. Gilman looking very frustrated.
It's great to see Calvert Hall work to get one of these results. And a big clean sheet, one of the first against a top MIAA opponent. And down goes Gilman. 3 more points for Calvert Hall to help them fight for the 3rd seed, or even possibly the 2nd in this MIAA race.
Great win for Calvert Hall. They have 2 MIAA games remaining, I believe. On Wednesday, we'll be back out here against MSJ. Be sure to catch that live stream. I'll be commentating once again. But for this game, Calvert Hall, very shaky, but confidence-boosting win, I'd say, against a very big team.
Yeah, sometimes it only takes one win to get a rhythm. And in the playoffs, obviously must-win games, but it's nice to get one on like this under your belt.
Yeah, I'm sure Calvert Hall will definitely use this one to fly with some confidence going against a lower team that is MSJ on Wednesday. I think a chance for them to breathe. They might not have to fight it out like this one. I think Calvert Hall realized that they weren't, I wouldn't say lucky, but they were fortunate to be in the position that they were with that 1-0 lead with about 20 minutes left, and next thing you know, they're playing 11 men behind the ball for pretty much the rest of the game. So Calvert Hall riding off that goal from Ben Bender before we hopped on the stream, unfortunately. It was a great goal, I can say. But I think that they could really use this win. It's not the most encouraging win, but it is huge on paper, and they'll definitely use this one for confidence and also for stats. It's going to be huge for playoff implications. Finally, a big win against the big 3 teams of Loyola, Gilman, and McDonough. They haven't been able to draw one out yet until today. Calvert Hall can finally say they have one of these wins on their belt, and I think they'll use it for the playoff implications, definitely. So, great game from Calvert Hall. 1-0, Ben Bender scores. I'm Brady Oregon.
I'm Jake Bleacher.
Thank you for watching. Come out Wednesday. If you can't, we'll be streaming again. We'll make sure to get this one on in time on Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching. See ya.